I'm Dani Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I have an exciting episode to bring you. Jill Asher, who is the co-founder of Magical Bridge Foundation, and then my very good friend, Beth, who is the director of the Redwood City Parks, Recreation, and Community Services. Right. Chris, they couldn't make your title longer, could they? Anyway, we have a really fun, literally fun topic today. So Jill, I'm going to start it right off with you. Tell us about the Magical Bridge Foundation.
So the Magical Bridge Foundation came out of the birth of Magical Bridge Playground in Palo Alto. It was an 8-year project led by Olenka Villarreal, who has a daughter with special needs, and realized that there was no place for her daughter to play in any 34 public playgrounds in Palo Alto. And
I'm going to just interrupt you right there. So Chris, as a director of Parks and Recreation, how does that happen? I mean, I just assumed, I see some ramps, that meant that parks were accessible.
Yeah. So I think what's an exciting opportunity through this partnership is we're still learning.
Right.
So there are national and state standards for ADA, right? Americans with Disabilities Act, and there are standards for, say, the surfacing. And what meets standards isn't necessarily meeting all the needs of those who are coming to our playground. So that's the big key difference. Yes, there are some ramps, there are step-ups, but also the consideration for people who have autism. That really was never part of our conversation, our awareness. Of course, we know that there are people that have autism, but we didn't know how they play and how they interact with the playground.
Okay.
And standard playgrounds don't meet their needs. So this is an exciting learning for us, and we want to get better.
So it was your co-founder, your other co-founder, whose daughter, it brought it all to light for her.
Right. And so what we learned through an 8-year process with a group of volunteers is that 20% of our population has a disability. We say it's the largest minority group in the world, and it's one that any of us can become a member of at any time. And in that 20%, only 10% are in wheelchairs. 90% are the ones that have cognitive differences. It's the one with visual and hearing impairments. It's even our elderly population. And that subset of the population is being completely left out of play. And while ADA is valiant in their efforts, they're not meeting the needs of everyone and everybody in our community. And so
and you're not just talking about children, you'd mentioned seniors.
We're talking about adults. Think about a parent in a wheelchair. Think about a parent who is visually impaired. There's so many, we all have so many differences.
Right.
And unfortunately, just a large subset is being completely left out. And so what we did is we said, you know what, we don't want to build a special needs playground. We just want to build a playground for everyone in the community. We don't have special needs Starbucks. We don't have special needs Nordstrom's. Why is it that playgrounds are being built for typical children and not for everyone? And so what we did is we created Magical Bridge. We funded the project privately. The city donated land and some seed money.
And this is in Palo Alto?
This is in Palo Alto. We raised $4 million privately over 8 years. So this was a hard project to find the money for and fund because it's never been done before. And then what happened is that we opened the playground and we started getting excitement and requests from people all over the globe wanting Magical Bridge playgrounds because no one ever saw anything quite like it.
Right. And I think, Chris, to your point, it wasn't about we don't want to do it. I think it's more about we didn't understand that this need wasn't. I mean, I think we all assume in today's time that we want to ensure that all of our facilities or all of are accessible, but not really understanding what the true need and the various populations.
For me and then my staff, we've built playgrounds for years, and meeting standards, and they're certainly fun and have fun aspects, but again, this whole awareness and really opening our eyes to the greater needs and needs of everyone in the community is different. That's been really a big shift for us. So with this project too, and you've heard of other playgrounds in the Bay Area, right? So if it's the Rotary Playground in San Jose, and there's the Chrissy Yamaguchi Playground in Fremont, that there's starting to be awareness, but also then there's this gap about how do we get enough money for the project, right? So Jill mentioned $4 million in Palo Alto, and these other playgrounds were about that level or higher in terms of cost. So that was a real gap too, and that was really a concern for us because we like to do that everywhere, but then again, there's a cost factor. But then
meaning
partnering,
municipalities would love to do a magical bridge, if you will, playground in every community, but it would be cost prohibitive.
That's correct. And then this more public-private, public-nonprofit partnerships, you know, we realize we can't do it alone, but what's this benefit back to the community to partner? And then we found a great partner in Magical Bridge.
And we were delighted to announce that Redwood City was going to be the second Magical Bridge site. And that actually came with some funding. And then we've been working with companies, and our foundation's working with companies and family foundations and just the community to get the project fully funded. And so we are going to be raising $3.3 million, and we have $700,000 left to go before we can break ground.
And we're going to talk just very specifically about Redwood City in just a few seconds, but I do want to congratulate the Magical Bridge Foundation for bringing this conversation forward, because I imagine that, like you said, as a Park and Rec professional, even when you're talking to community members like myself, sure, I want to be a donor to the park, but it now makes me aware of populations and individuals and families that we have left out of the conversation.
And I think until we open the doors, nobody could really understand this urgent need.
Right.
And so when you visit Magical Bridge in Palo Alto and you just sit back and you watch community members playing together for the very first time, regardless of the ability, disability, or size and age, you can play at Magical Bridge Playground. And we also say that the playground really is the first classroom where kids learn how to take turns, how to make friends with someone who might be different, how to be an upstander, how to be patient and kind and compassionate. And so we hope that Magical Bridge, and we believe this is happening, is really modeling the kind of behaviors and the kind of kindness that we want in our communities.
If I may add to that, there's a whole nother level to the playground itself. So you have the physical playground, but then you have this community engagement piece. And what they have in Palo Alto and what we want to bring here to Redwood City is this Kindness Ambassador program. So they've engaged volunteers of all ages in the community to work with people coming and visiting the playground. So these are people who are going out of the way to welcome, to help, assist, to teach kindness, and really keep eyes on the playground and the park as well. So you have this really wonderful extra level associated with Magical Bridge.
Well, I imagine as you are meeting nationally with your professional groups, that you are talking now more about this kind of play and engagement, really community engagement through a playground.
Sure.
You're bringing these concepts and having it at your professional and municipality level.
Yes, that's right.
And I think, again, that is one of the things that you must be so proud of, not only building and bringing the public-private partnerships together to physically build these communities, but also the fact that you've now raised the bar in conversation at the professional level.
Yeah, and we have visitors literally from all over the world coming to Silicon Valley, coming to Palo Alto right now to see Magical Bridge Playground. And they are moved beyond words. I mean, we have people that are coming with tears in their eyes and saying, I've never seen anything like this. And thank you. And
so we have just about 1 minute left.
Sure.
How did you then find Redwood City? What's that process?
Right, so we actually, our foundation put a call out to different cities saying that we're going to be building 3 more Bay Area Magical Bridge playgrounds, and Redwood City percolated up to the top, especially because of your Park and Recs department here, Beth, and the willingness to really make inclusivity part of the community and bringing that to top of mind. I mean, it was very clear Redwood City would be the next location for us.
Well, we are out of time, so we're just going to ask our viewers. We are going to shoot a second segment that any of our viewers can watch, that we're really going to focus in on Redwood City and what's going to happen there and the needs and how people can help and how people can be supportive of that next location. But viewers, I hope you'll head down to Palo Alto. That is where the first Magical Bridge playground was built, and also jump on the website to find out about your new locations and, of course, Redwood City. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you for
And thank
having
you,
us.
Chris, for joining us. We'll see you next time on Penn Voice.